Hello everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Akeem Ola. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also share and like my view. If you have any question after each topic, you can always send it to me. My WhatsApp number will always be shown on the screen. Thank you. Let's go to today's topic. The topic for today is change of subject of formulae. What is change of subject of formulae? Change of subject of formula means a situation where a particular letter is equal to other letter in a formula. As you can see, we have some question on the board. We have y is equal to mx plus c. We are now told to make m the subject of formula. As this y is equal to mx plus c is a formula on its own, and as the formula is, y is a subject of formula here. But we were told to make m as the subject of formula. That is the meaning of this arrow that is here. That is, we want a situation whereby m, this m now will now be equal to every other variable that is used here. Let's go solving. I have here solution. The first one I have y is equal to mx plus c. The first thing I have to do is that I need to collect like terms. I need to move this c from here to the other side. So if I move C from here to the other side, the sign of that C will change. C is positive here. When it's moved to the other side, the sign will change to negative. That means we are going to have y minus C is equal to mx. If A is equal to B, then B must be equal to A. So that means I can change this equation to mx is now equal to y minus c. You can imagine a situation whereby you have 2x is equal to 3 and you are told what is x. That means we are going to divide both sides by the coefficient of x. As this equation is now, we are told to make m as the subject of formula. So what we need to do now is that you will notice that the coefficient of x here, the coefficient of m in this equation is x. Forget the fact that x is in the front of m. That means we are going to divide both sides by x because only m must be here. And the only way we can remove this x here is by dividing both sides by x. That means I'm going to have divide this by x, and we also divide this one by x. X will cancel. This now implies that my m now will now be equal to y minus c all over x. As this equation is now, we have successfully make m as the subject of this equation. So let's go to the second question. For the second question, we have the second question too also have left hand side and right hand side. We have b minus c all over b plus c is equal to d. A fraction. We are already used to fraction now. Remember we say fraction has a numerator and a denominator. The first thing we need to do is that if you consider the right hand side of this question, you will notice that the right hand side does not have, is not a fraction, is an whole number. So what we need to do is to balance the equation. Fraction on the left hand side, fraction on the right hand side. How can we make the right hand side a fraction? We can just divide. Dividing the right hand side equation by 1 will not affect the equation in any way. So what we need to do now, we can now cross multiply. So if I cross multiply now, 1 will multiply this b and c, the numerator, while this d will multiply b plus c, the denominator. That means we are now going to have d into b plus c is now equal to 1 into b minus c. So from there, I can now open the bracket by multiplying by the number immediately before the bracket. That means we are going to have D times B will give us BD, plus D times C will give us CD, is now equal to B minus C. Don't forget, we are told to make C as the subject of formula. That means C will be equal to every other. Let's try and bring C to this side. CD is already here. That means BD will move to the other side. So we are going to have CD will be left here. This C will leave here and comes to this side. When it's moved to the other side, the sign will change from minus C to plus C. That means I'm going to have CD plus C is now equal to B is already here. So we have the B. Then BD will join B over there, and the sign will change. It's positive here. When it moves to the other side, it becomes negative. That means I'm going to have minus BD. So from here, we can now consider what is common to both sides. If you check the left hand side of the equation, you will notice that C is common there. And if you check the right hand side of the equation, you will notice that B is common there. Whatever that is common, you take it out. That means here now we will have C into, I'll now divide each of these by this C. CD divided by C. That means I'll be left with D. Plus C divided by C. I'll be left with 1. I have 1 here. Is now equal to what is common here. B is on both sides. That means B is common. I can have my B here. Into B divided by B will give me 1. Minus BD divided by B. I am going to have D. I have this. So from here, I want to make C the subject of formula. That means only C will be here. And if only C is here, that means I need to remove this D plus 1 in bracket on both sides. And for me to remove this D plus 1, I am going to divide both sides by D plus 1. So here I am going to have D plus 1 in bracket. Here too I'm going to have divided by D plus 1 in bracket. That means D plus 1 will cancel here. I'll be left with C is now equal to B into 1 minus D all over D plus 1. And that is the end of the solution to the question we have here. We have come to another end of this particular program. In our next episode, we'll continue to solve as many problems as possible on change of subject of formulae. God bless you. God bless